Basically, this is a back for a go guitar, which is a travel guitar. And this is what I make the most of these days. Although it's not my most favorite instrument to build, it's the one that's kept food on the table for the last almost 15 years. I honestly can't believe that I sell instruments to people in Russia. I sell basically all over the world.
How many of these do you make in a year?
Just under 100. I also do some parlor guitars, custom instruments, things of that sort.
To make one from start to finish would take approximately how long?
I could start an instrument right now, and day after tomorrow it would be done. There's a lot of glue time involved, so it's a little difficult to give you an actual hour. I figure back when I timed things, 7 to 8 hours, probably about 7 hours total man hours in the instrument. Not particularly much. I can tell you that the Baby Taylor, they work on theirs about 3.5 to 4 hours man hours in one of those instruments. So I'm in the same ballpark.
But you use no machines in terms of...
No computer-aided machines, none. That doesn't mean I don't like them and wouldn't use them if I had the wherewithal to have them. Most of the wood for this instrument comes from either frost hardwood or Lane Van Stanton out in El Cajon. The spruce tops I buy through various dealers when I buy in fairly large quantities. It's harder to get really good Honduran mahogany, so that is what I use for the necks. I now use sapele because it's much more readily available. From the simplest to the most expensive, we're going from about $225 to 260 or 70 approximately, but that's complete. I mean, you can have a lot of add-ons and things like that. That's going to be changing very quickly, though. I'm going to switch over to only doing custom Go guitars. I'm not going to do any production work. That's going to happen probably within the next 2 months. One of the things, I could actually build these instruments much faster if I didn't clean up the glue, if I just left it be. And people keep telling me, no, just, that'll save you an hour's time on each instrument. Don't do the cleanup. And I can't do it. I've tried. I've probably built maybe 3 or 4 of these Go guitars where I haven't cleaned it up, and I have a bad feeling every time I do it.
Is it have anything to do with the sound, or it just looks unsightly?
No, it just looks. It's just, I want these instruments to be professional. I mean, this is a Go guitar. It's actually a Go Grande, which is the bigger of the 2 guitars I make. It's a little bit thicker than the other. From face-on view, they would look exactly the same. This is just about 3/4 of an inch thicker. Better air volume entrapped in the instrument, a little bit louder, a little bit better set of overtone. The idea started about 15, 16 years ago. I was doing repair work in Moe's Guitars here in San Diego, actually over in La Mesa, and I was sitting around with a bunch of guys, guitar players that came in, people, some I knew, some I didn't. It's late in the afternoon, we had nothing better to do, no customers in the shop, and we all figured we'd sit in a big circle on a bunch of stools and pass guitars around and figure out what everybody liked and didn't like about them. So about 15 minutes into this process, someone picked up a Martin backpacker. It's a little travel guitar that Martin Guitars makes, and the person that picked it up was basically sat halfway across the circle from where I was, and they handed it around, and it finally got to me for my 2 cents on it. And first thing out of my mouth after playing one chord was, I can do better than this. And immediately half the people there who didn't know me said, oh yeah, sure. Immediately after that, the other half who did know me said, oh no, he can. So right then and there I said, give me about a week and I'll bring in a prototype. So I took the week and developed a prototype. I wasn't really happy with it. Talked to the guys at the Moe's Guitar Shop and said, well, give me 2 more days and I'll come back with something I'm really happy with. And 2 days goes by, and a guitar very, very similar to this gets done. They looked at me and said, hey, the quality of this, we want you to build these guitars for us, we'll sell them. And that's what started building Go Guitars. I would bring 2 or 3 instruments in, they'd be gone within 2 days. And very shortly after that I started thinking, let's open up a shop and build Go Guitars. And we ended up 7 employees. We got up to about 80 guitars a month we were doing. Had no trouble selling those 80. And then 9/11 happened and we didn't sell another guitar for 3.5 months. And that basically killed that business. So we got smaller and smaller and smaller, and I finally got to the point where my lease was up on the building. I had only 1 employee and 2 subcontractors, and decided it was time to just move back to my home shop. And I've been doing Go Guitars on a regular basis for the last 14 years here.